I'm on. Come on, guys.
Okay, Kelly, I don't have her number. Here it is.
Yeah, he said we're good.
Oh, Kelly's on? Okay. Good afternoon, Broncos.
Good afternoon.
And welcome to the final WMU Board of Trustees meeting for the 2025-2026 academic year. I'd like to thank my colleagues, the trustees, for their continued service to the university, as well as all of you. It's always refreshing to see our AD here, our Dean of the College of Engineering, Dean of the College of Aviation. You're all a blessing, and thank you all for taking time out of your day to attend. Secretary Thinnis, do we have a quorum?
Chair Turfy, we do.
And is the live stream operational?
The live stream is operational, and we have Trustee Burris as virtual. Vice Chair Burris is virtual.
At this time, I would like to call on the board for a motion to accept today's agenda as presented.
I'll move.
Support.
The motion has been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All, any opposed? The motion passes. Trustees, are there any questions or comments regarding the meeting minutes from April 16?
I'll move the minutes be approved.
Second.
It has been moved and supported that the board approve the minutes as presented. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those
Aye.
opposed say no. The motion carries. Before we move in today's business, I'd like to recognize a couple of my board colleagues on some major achievements that have transpired over the past few weeks. Congratulations to Trustee James Liggins, an attorney at Warner Norcross and Judd LLP, on receiving the prestigious 2026 Michelle Frank Award, an annual award that recognizes an attorney for outstanding contributions to improving the profession through a commitment to ethical practice, public service, and community leadership. And I can tell you firsthand that I'm not surprised. I have not met with a more ethical man who dedicates himself as Trustee Wiggins has. It's certainly a pleasure to serve along your side. I would also like to recognize Trustee Lin Chen Zhang, who recently, alongside her husband, Bronco alumnus Charles Zhang, received the Ellis Island Medal of Honor, one of the most prestigious recognitions of contributions and service to this country. The Zhangs share this recognition with several U.S. presidents, along with the likes as Rosa Parks, Muhammad Ali, and Oprah Winfrey. Please join me in a round of applause for them. With those well-deserved recognitions, we will now turn to our agenda. We have several important recommendations before us, including the university's 2026 and 2027 general fund operating budget, the 2026 tuition and required fee rates, and the 2026 differential tuition rates. As we consider these actions, we are mindful of the financial realities students and families face. The board remains committed to ensuring Western Michigan University is both financially accessible and excellent. In preparing the budget and setting tuition, we strike a careful balance between keeping a high-quality education within reach and sustaining the resources it takes to deliver that education. With this in mind, later in the meeting, under action items, we will hear from Vice President Jan Vanderklay on the 2026-2027 operating budget and the tuition and required fee rate recommendations. We will also hear from Interim Provost Chris Cheatham regarding consideration of the differential tuition rate recommendation. Also under action items, we will consider two important labor agreements. Interim Provost Cheatham will present the proposed contract agreements between Western Michigan University and the Teaching Assistants Union, and Vice President Vanderclay will present the agreement between Western Michigan University and the Michigan State Employees Association. Each year, Western Michigan University recognizes faculty who receive academic tenure and promotion. This tradition represents their scholarly achievements, dedication to teaching, and service to our students and community. It is a very important milestone in an academic career and a moment of pride for all of us celebrating you today. We look forward to Dr. Cheatham's presentation coming up in just a few minutes. We will also recognize Western's spring employee graduates today. It is always a pleasure to see those who mentor and guide our students also make time in their own lives to continue advancing their education, modeling lifelong learning. To round out the action items, we will consider the President's performance and contract extension, a memorandum of understanding between this board and the Western Michigan University Foundation Board, and we will consider several consent agenda items, including a personnel report, a permanent easement request from the City of Kalamazoo for Valley Oaks, a liquor license at West Hills, and 2 reports. At this time, we will hear remarks from President Russ Cavaluna. Mr. President, the microphone is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate being here with you at the end of this fiscal year. I have some bragging to do on behalf of some of your colleagues also. How about that? Better? Okay, thank you, counselor. Ethical and pays attention to details. For those of you that aren't aware, my colleague to my right, to the left as you see me, is Lisa Williams. She's a graduate of Western Michigan University, but in her day job, she's a principal in a high school in Detroit. I had the pleasure of visiting that high school and trying to recruit some of her students, and you can understand why they're worthy of recruiting. Just this last year, 71 graduates came through her high school, and if you count up all of the scholarships that those students in her Detroit public high school got from higher education institutions, you'd be at over $9 million of money being thrown at these students that this Bronco leads every day in Detroit. And no one on this campus should be surprised if I talk about enrollment. I talk about enrollment about as much as I can. And I want to congratulate one of your colleagues, Mr. Chairman, who himself has now got at least 1 point on the board for enrollment efforts, recruiting efforts. It is no one other than our own colleague, Trustee Liggins, who has recruited his son to enroll at WMU. This young man is at Kalamazoo Central. He's a great young man, very talented young man. And it says something that Trustee Liggins, who may have attended a different university in the state, has helped his son find his way to Western Michigan University in the fall. So thank you both, trustees. We're having another commencement here very, very soon. We'll celebrate 1,000 degrees being conferred in 2 days, and I appreciate all of the effort that goes into making those wonderful events. I remember when I myself got my Bronco degree, and it's still my favorite part of this job and my favorite day of the year, but it's a lot of work. So trustees, if you do plan to attend, I encourage you to, colleagues, please join us in congratulating those students on Saturday. It's a great event. And I just want to say, the show goes off without a hitch every time, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And Stacy Thinnis is one of the folks, your board secretary, who puts in a lot of work. There are countless hours of effort being put into it by folks from the president's office, including Todd Kuhn, Jesse Clements, and Michelle Adams. If you see any of those, please say thank you. For those of us, Mr. Chairman, those of us just sit in a pretty gown on stage, smile, but those people are behind us making sure that that happens without a hitch. I also want to make note of something I announced very, very recently, and that is the search for the Senior Vice President of Budget and Finance and Chief Financial Officer. I'll have more comments about why we need to search for someone in that role in a few minutes, but before we talk about that, I do want to thank my teammates, Dan Bartholomew and Chris Cheatham, who you know as the athletic director and the interim provost, who are leading up that search, and it is now live. So if you have anyone who wants to be the chief financial officer for the best university on the planet, please send them to us. We have a third party who's helping us make that search a success, and our goal is to have that person identified and in the role in October. And as I mentioned, I'll have a little bit more comments about why we do need to search for someone, which is a bittersweet thing. Valley Oaks is the new residence hall that we're all really excited about, that we're going to cut the ribbon on that on July 29th. If you want to come be part of that, trustees, please let me know. There we will be congratulating many, many folks, but the people who deserve probably the most credit are Vice President Diane Anderson, Vice President Jan Vanderclay, AVP Barry Olson, all three of whom are here today, and then their teammates Janice Quackenbush, Rashana Porter, Sarah Vanderveen, and Barb Vader. If you haven't seen that building, it is remarkable. It's right behind the Valley Dining Center. I've already talked to many, many students, even the student I just mentioned who lives in Trustee Liggins's house. All of them know they're trying to get into that residence hall, Diane. And I think most of them haven't even been in there. They just, in fact, you know, sometimes Vice President Bartholomew and I are kind of asked, can I get tickets to this? Can I get tickets to this? I think the only thing that I've gotten more requests for is a spot in the Valley Oaks. So we're excited about that on July 29th. Interim Provost Cheatham delivered a really impactful agreement that we recently celebrated, trustees, and that is if you're going to Kalamazoo Valley Community College and you think you want to be a Bronco, you don't any longer have to wonder, do I have to apply and will I get in, and whether my credits will transfer. Through the work in Vice President Cheatham's office, we've been able to say to all those students at Grand Valley State University, you're welcome here, you're already admitted, and in fact, we actually at a spring football game had a couple students who were doing that transition from Kalamazoo Valley Community College to Western Michigan University. We had them down on the field and they played a game where if they threw a football through a certain hole in a blow up, they would get a certain amount of money, and if they just hit the target, they would get a little less amount of money. And Tony Proudfoot and Paula Davis put that together. It was a really great event. We're hoping to announce a couple more agreements like that, again, behind Interim Provost Cheatham's effort to make it easier to transfer from a community college to Western Michigan University. I want to congratulate my colleague and teammate, faculty member Dee Sherwood, who's a professor in the School of Social Work, who received the Marilyn Stenberg Award given to AAUP members who demonstrate concern for courage, persistence, and collaborative bargaining skills. She played a critical role in helping support our faculty colleagues. I do see my teammates from the AAUP over here, and I know that that's something that you take very seriously. So on behalf of the board and the administration, congratulations to your member, Dee Sherwood. I also want to congratulate some amazing students in the College of Fine Arts. I see Dean Guyette there. I hope you know that what we're talking about, but folks around here probably don't know, and they're continuing a long winning streak. 7 students from Western's Jazz Studies program brought home 8 national honors from the prestigious Downbeat Magazine's Student Music Awards. They're under the direction of Dr. Andrew Rathbun. He's the head of the Jazz Studies in the Irving S. Gilmore School of Music, and he said that these multiple awards year over year are a true testament to the caliber of student musicians, and we can't agree more. And Dean Guyette, that student I referenced in Trustee Liggins' home, may be coming to your college. So please feel free to come and tell him anything you need to tell him about the College of Fine Arts. Finally, I want to say thanks to the University Advancement and the Department of Athletics who helped us put on a really great show. What was it, Dan, in Detroit? 2 days ago? We hosted many alumnus, some potential students at the Comerica Park, which is where the Detroit Tigers play. The most recent president of the Faculty Senate, Dr. Noggle, was there with her daughter, who's actually doing Mr. Chairman, her daughter is doing an internship in Detroit, doing experience-based learning right now, and she was able to come see that game. But it was a great opportunity for the Bronco Nation to invade Comerica Park. Buster was there, our football coach was there, our men's basketball coach was there, our women's basketball coach was there, our athletic director was there, and we were able to say, hey, to the entire stadium full of baseball fans, Western Michigan University should be on your map and be your partner in higher education. Mr. Chairman, you noted a couple tentative agreements that are on your action items. One is for the TAO agreement. That is a branch of the AFT, the American Federation of Teachers. I just want to congratulate that collective bargaining unit for an excellent negotiations, a successful tentative agreement. Of course, you know I'm recommending the board approve that tentative agreement, but I also want to say to all of my teammates from TAO and frankly to the negotiating team, which included Matthew Mingus and Jan Vanderklay, thank you for an excellent negotiation. And here is another example of where labor relations at Western Michigan University are respectful and on time and with good tentative agreements. In addition to that, Mr. Chairman, you have the MSEA tentative agreement. That is for a small group of collective bargaining members in the power plant. That negotiation, just like the TAO negotiation, was effective and respectful and reached a tentative agreement that we're asking you to visit and vote on positively. I also want to thank Jan Vanderklay for playing a major role in that negotiation. I also want to say, at the end of the first year, we've had several collective bargaining sessions that have been successful. I want to thank my friend and the leader of AFSCME, President Brian Sutton, for taking part in what was, I think, the first negotiations of my tenure here, which were successful. President Sutton also takes up my request readily when I ask him to make comments at commencement. He reminds graduates and their families about what his members do to keep this place safe and beautiful, and I appreciate what his unit has done. I also see my friend and colleague who's the leader of our AAUP unit, Dr. Hemlick, is with us here today. They're in current negotiations, and I appreciate the effort that's happening. My understanding is that the negotiations will continue every week, multiple sessions per week in July. And I gotta believe negotiating in July is not what everyone would want to be doing. But the AAUP has made it a priority, and I appreciate them. Along with that, last time we were here, we awarded scholarships to 3 students at Western Michigan University, and some of the monies we spent came from AAUP members, and that was through the leadership of the president. So thank you, AAUP members. Folks, this is the end of my first year here, and I hope it's just the beginning of many, many years. It's been a great year. I'm very excited to be here, and I'm very optimistic about where this university is going, particularly because of the challenges we face. Not just us. Everyone in higher education is facing significant challenges. We have to be more clear about why we deserve tax dollars, why we deserve tuition dollars, why we deserve folks and families' investment in us. And I'm excited because we've got a great story to tell. Over the next year, my plan is to outline what I've heard from you all and from our community about what Western Michigan University can continue to be and what it can grow into the future to win what is going to be more of a competitive environment. Western has to play to win, and our foundations are really strong. You're going to hear me say that our academic enterprise, our faculty, our teachers, our support systems are the best in the state, and we're going to highlight those over and over and over again. And we're going to win more and more attention and enrollment as a result. Our student experience has to be the best, and that means everything that's outside of the classroom. Everything from athletic departments to the health center to the student center. When you come to Western, you see a better environment than any one of our competitors. We're going to continue to highlight that, and our research enterprise will soon be R1, and it'll be distinctive. We do not aim to replicate what happens in other big universities that do research. We actually want to carve out our own research enterprise that distinguishes us. We'll interact with industry and bring in undergrads all together so that our research enterprise will bring in historic monies, but also patents and young people learning how to build products and build ideas and sell them into market and distinguish Western as a special place, because that's what it is for me. Western is very, very special to me. So I've been honored to be here for a year, and I've said this to you all trustees, and I'll say it publicly. I will be here as long as you have me, and I'll be working as hard as I can because this place means so much to me. There's only two ways that I can really say how much this place means to me right now: by honoring two people who deserve to be recognized for their outstanding service at this institution, and the bittersweet reality that we're going to have to figure out a way to go forward without them being my teammates and yours. I'm going to make a few comments about each of them, and then I'm going to ask you to join me in thanking both of them. One is Diane Anderson. She has been my teammate for a year, but she's been your teammate for decades. And if you don't know Diane, and I know most of you do, but if you don't know Diane, you'll never find someone who's more dedicated to her craft and more careful in her wisdom. And I use those words carefully because as a new president, you get a lot of advice and you have a lot of challenges. And you quickly have to refine who you can trust and whose wisdom is, well, frankly, whose intelligence is more than your own. And in Diane Anderson, I found that, and it's going to be a really hard thing to contemplate not having that. But what I also really value about you, Diane, is your work ethic. I'm going to tell a story, which I hope you're okay with me. But the truth is, this teammate cares so deeply about this institution, almost nothing can stop her from advancing what she believes is a core principle, that students come here and they can feel safe and supported, and they can grow into better people, better versions of themselves. She is so dedicated to this that when she was on vacation, she was walking her dogs, and someone came by and the dog kind of tripped her up on the leash, and she had a very, very ugly face injury. She fell on her face, and it was awful. And I couldn't keep her out of the office. She kept coming in. I said, "You have to stay home and heal." And she kept coming in. And I'm telling you, I just wasn't surprised. Diane Anderson shows up every day and continues to advance her beliefs in a way, and sometimes in very difficult scenarios, conflict discussions. And she's always that diligent and careful wisdom that I know all of us will miss. Now, I think she kind of, my union friends, I think I had a union of vice presidents because these two got together and started to figure out what they were going to do, because at the same time I had to think about life without Diane Anderson on the cabinet, I had another vice president who decided that she was going to take her leave from the university. Just like Diane Anderson, someone who's been here for decades and has a work ethic that probably is only matched by Diane, and you know that's the treasurer of this board and the chief financial officer, and also a Bronco graduate, Jan Vanderklay. And one of the things that Jan and Diane had worked so hard to support my predecessor on is beautifying the campus. And if you walk through campus now, you're going to see all kinds of reasons why Diane and Jan's joint work has made this place extraordinarily better and going to help this university for decades into the future. Just some examples. One is Valley Oaks, they work together on. The Bronco Boulevard, if you walk down what used to be somewhat of a concrete jungle in front of Bernhard Center, it feels like the best campus I've ever been to. The Student Center. These are all things that these two leaders have worked together in tandem, and they helped the brand new president. Now, aside from that joint work, Jan, you've been an extraordinary teammate to me, and I appreciate you in so many ways. A lot of it is helping us build trust with collective bargaining, sitting with folks and telling them what the reality is of the university, but also respecting that they are leaders of an elected collective bargaining unit, and finding a way to have respectful dialogue even when there's disagreement. You're the most trusted resource on the cabinet to go in there and have those fair, respectful, and sometimes difficult discussions, and it's helped the university for decades, and certainly for a first-year president. You've also helped us devise the way we want to move the university in a way that keeps us fiscally strong, but allows us to make investment for the future. There's no doubt that enrollment is going down across the Midwest, and there's no doubt that we'll have to make tough choices and that we'll make strategic choices. And every single time the university has made those choices for the last several decades, Jan Vanderklay has been at the table as a trusted resource for wisdom and collaboration. And you'll be missed, I can tell you that, as will you, Diane. So colleagues, please join me in thanking these two wonderful public servants. Mr. Chairman, I'll take any questions. If I have none, then that is my report.
Thank you, President Cavaluna. I just want to extend my congratulations to Trustee Wiggins' son, Justin, for choosing us over his alma mater, Michigan, where he was also accepted. And it just, and in my discussions with Luke Kretzman, who serves on the Faculty Senate, he said that the reason he chose Western Michigan, which is the same reason Justin did, is because of our outstanding faculty, in this case particularly our School of Music. So congratulations to you again and your family, James. Going to be great to welcome Justin as a Bronco. Next, we will hear from our shared governance partners. So Dr. Hahn, the mic is yours. There you are. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Hi. I'm Janet Hahn, President of the WMU Faculty Senate. Good afternoon, Chair Turfy, members of the board, President Cavaluna, colleagues, and guests. On behalf of the Western Michigan University Faculty Senate, thank you for the opportunity to address the board and update you on Senate activities. We continue to value your authorization of our Senate as a member of shared governance for the university. Many new members joined the Faculty Senate Executive Board in May, and we will be holding our annual half-day retreat on July 10th in order to plan for the upcoming academic year. Since your last meeting, University administration has approved memoranda of action that were initiated by the Faculty Senate for implementation as university policy. They are MOA 2510, establish minimum undergraduate credits in a major and minor earned at WMU, which created a policy that lowered the minimum number of undergraduate credit hours a student must earn at WMU toward a major and or minor from 122 to 120 credit hours. MOA 2606, revision of the undergraduate catalog and addition to the graduate catalog to extend the drop withdrawal period to the 12th week in the fall and spring and the 6th week in the summer sessions. MOA 2607, revision of the undergraduate grade point average revision policy in order to increase the allowable number of GPA revisions, allow multiple attempts of the same course as a single revision, and to replace the current time limitations. MOA 2608, revision of credit no credit policy to allow major and minor credit to permit credits earned through pre-approved international institution programs to be applied toward major and or minor WMU credits. And MOA 2609, we were very busy in the spring, revision of service learning course approval procedures to align with approved categorization as part of experiential learning at WMU. We are now initiating the process to revise the WMU grading system, including potential adjustments such as converting the A, BA, B, CB, C scale, I'm looking at our students, to A minus, B plus, B minus, etc., with the goal of creating a more equitable and transparent grading calculation process. Finally, I would like to congratulate all faculty who are receiving tenure and or promotion at this meeting. Thank you for all your contributions to our university. I am available to answer any questions you may have.
I have a question.
Okay,
Will you make those grading changes retroactive?
I'm sorry. For you, you mean?
Well, anyone who thought they deserved an A minus or instead of a BA,
I'll speak with the registrar about that.
okay, because there's a lot of us.
Okay.
But don't change the ones where we kind of were a little higher.
Was in your favor. Okay. Okay. Any other questions? Okay.
Thank you,
Thank
Doctor.
you. Okay, thank you, Chair Turfy, for allowing me to address you.
Thank you, Dr. Hahn. Next, we will hear an update from Jillian Kissel, Speaker of the Assembly for the Western Student Association. Take it away, Jillian.
Thank you, and thank you for that correction. On the agenda, it may say secretary. That was my previous position last year. Our website hasn't been updated yet, so that was just an error on our part. So I am the Speaker of the Assembly. I'm filling in for Student Body President Luke Kritzman, and it is a pleasure to be here in front of you all. So good afternoon to Chair Turfy, Vice Chair Burris, who is online with us today, President Calhouna, and all other members of the board and our community members here today. Like I had said, Luke is away. He's actually perfecting his craft over at a 6-week summer piano festival in North Carolina. So I am filling in for him, so you may see me in many places where he would be instead. He is not physically present, but there is much happening with the Western Student Association, and I am happy to share that with you all today. One of the highlights is the summer freshman orientation, which I actually had this morning, where Luke and I have been given the chance to be able to speak to all of our new freshman students during their first day at orientation. For about 5 minutes, we provide them with some tips, tricks, and a little bit of kind of orientation motivation to get them prepared for their next year and their journey starting as a Bronco. And that has been phenomenal. I have been really enjoying that. Now, as well as that, summer is an important period of preparation for the academic year ahead. Much of our focus has been ensuring that WSA is well positioned for a successful fall semester. Our incoming executive cabinet members have been officially onboarded and are already developing initiative, events, and projects that will serve students throughout the coming year. Speaking of upcoming initiatives, I am excited to share that WSA will be hosting this year's statewide Michigan Public University Student Government Conference. Each year, student government leaders from Michigan's public universities come together to exchange ideas, collaborate on best practices, and establish advocacy priorities that students support across the state. During our meeting in May, WMU's bid to host the conference was selected. We look forward to welcoming representatives from across Michigan to our campus as we work together to develop a statewide platform focused on issues such as higher education affordability and post-graduation opportunities for students. And thank you, President Calhouna, for attending that meeting. We really appreciate that. In addition, WSA continues to strengthen its partnerships across campus and throughout the Kalamazoo community, and across the state, of course. These relationships are essential as we fulfill our role in the shared governance partner, and we ensure that student perspectives are represented in decisions that impact the WMU experience. We are excited to continue building these collaborations and are confident that together we can make meaningful progress on behalf of our students. I look forward to seeing you all. This is Luke. I look forward to seeing you all in person in the fall. I'm here today for you, and thank you. And as always, onward for the brown and gold. Any questions?
Madam Speaker, Mr. Chair, may I ask a question? Madam Speaker, is the conference congratulations on winning the proposal, whether that's for you or Luke or the whole WSA.
Yes, thank you.
Will it be in May?
No, it will be in this fall.
Okay, do you have a date yet? The conference?
He may,
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Okay,
First week of October.
October?
Okay.
Yeah. I'm on the legislative branch. He is the executive, so.
well, this is the first time I've heard a Speaker of the House pitch to an executive.
Speaker of the Assembly, we don't have House
Okay,
and Senate
Speaker,
anymore.
even more then. When the executive gives you the authority, grab it. Madam Speaker, could you tell the president that the university will do everything we can to make this the best convening that any group has ever had, including let us know which of the administration or the faculty or the staff we would like to participate.
Absolutely, I will. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Jillian. Our final shared governance update will come from Graduate Student Association President Luis Mejia.
Right. Thank you. Good afternoon, Chair
Good
Turfy,
afternoon.
esteemed members of the Board of Trustees, President Calhouna, and all in attendance. It is my pleasure to be standing in front of you today. My name is Luis Mejia, and I will serve as the Graduate Student Association President for the 2026-2027 academic year. I've been an active member in student governance for the past 2 years, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity to give back to my community alongside an amazing executive board, exceptional advisors, and an incredible student body. The thing that I expect will be my biggest challenge this year is succeeding our last 2 exceptional presidents that came before us. I joined GSA under the term of Jocelyn Medina, who took on the task of bringing back organization from their hiatus, and successfully, through events, active student engagement, and unmatched passion, reinstated our agency. Then just last year, we had Claire Binford, whose outstanding leadership was reflected in initiatives such as the Essential Needs Homecoming Drive, contributions to the graduate commons at Waldo Library, and donations of master regalia. Being preceded by these great presidents, our greatest goal is to do right by their legacy and continue initiatives they left for the betterment of the graduate student body. This year's team is comprised of many capable and dedicated individuals for whom I have the utmost faith and respect. I would like to acknowledge our returning members, our Vice President Christina, who oversees our finances and chairs the Graduate Financial Allocations Committee, or GFAC, which just, by the way, this summer has allocated more than $5,000 in student grants. Our Chief Justice Taha, who was in charge of transitions and ran this year's election, our Director of Advocacy and Legislative Affairs, Tamba, who previously served as our Director of Public Relationships. With the same excitement, I welcome our new members, Tracy, our new parliamentarian, and Aminat, our Director of Communication. In addition to our student leadership, we're so thankful for the support of the Office of Student Engagement. We have Rahul and Isabel, our respective administrative and programming graduate assistants, our advisor and OSC Associate Director, Valerie, the OSC Program Manager, Amy, and our OSC Director, Chris Lai. And of course, we have our partners from the Grad College, Dr. Bert Jacobs here, Dr. Roberts, and all the staff from the Grad College. While campaigning for this position, and immediately after our election, I've taken the initiative to reflect on what will be our legacy within GSA. What will this year's goals be? Although I will not give you a specific today because I need to save some surprises for the fall, I've identified three main areas on which we're going to be focusing. First and foremost, student relationships. As of this spring, main campus graduates represent approximately 60% of the graduate student body, meaning 40% of graduates are students that are either online or in other extended programs. These students, whether close or far, online or in person, traditional or non-traditional, are also our students, and want all of them to feel supported during the time at Western. Second is essential needs. Last year, GSA created an amazing relationship with Essential Needs Project. We will continue and expand this year. As a student that personally has used the food pantry and received student relief, I know that many of our students face hardship during their studies, either in the form of unexpected emergencies or just struggling to make ends meet. Last, but definitely not least, is sustainability. We as an agency are committed to supporting sustainability efforts that will benefit our campus, our education, and our community. This also includes institutional sustainability and promoting the use of graduate spaces to boost our campus engagement. I thank you again for the opportunity to address you today, and look forward to addressing you again in the fall with updates and initiatives on behalf of GSA. In the meantime, I'm happy to connect with you and answer any questions that you may have. Thank you.
That was excellent, Luis. Thank you very much. Next, President Cavalluna will welcome the Western Michigan University Employee Spring Graduates.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to recognize my teammates. There are 34 graduates who received one or more of the 2,100 degrees conferred during the spring commencement exercises in May, and that was one heck of a day. We did 4 of those in one day, 4 commencements in one day. Some of them are here today. Thank you for taking time to come today and to be recognized for your accomplishment. I'm going to read the names and ask anyone here who's with us to stand when I read your name. And we will acknowledge all of you with a round of applause after everyone has been named. The first is Stephen Konechny, then Jim Beatty, Athena Osborne, Julie Boylan, Jason Rose, Brian Chalfant, Cedrina Zent, Shauna Waltmeyer, Azonas Daniels, Sam DeMora, Nathan Emerson, Beth Smith, Dre Belinas Barreas, Charisma Jackson, Aaron Rosa, Morgan Shiver, Jack Byrne, Brian Kirby, Troy Robertson, Sarah Drabick, Christine Thomas, Jennifer Johnson, Leslie Lull, Hunter Winger, Caitlin Zachow, Michael Galia, Stephanie Althoff, Vincent Desroches, Lakeitha Lokesh, Ben Hoffer, Chris Hoffman, Jamie Baker, Liz Vandenheed, and Dawn Smith. Please join me in congratulating them.
Thank you, President Cavaluna, and congratulations to all our employee graduates. Next, I would like to invite Interim Provost Cheatham to help us acknowledge those receiving academic tenure and promotion.
Thank you, Chair Terfin. Good afternoon, everyone. This is always one of the most rewarding parts of my job and of this meeting. Today, we have the honor of recognizing a group of faculty members whose hard work, dedication, and impact, both in and outside of the classroom, have earned them tenure and/or promotion. These milestones mark an important chapter in their academic journeys and in the life of our institution. Today is the culmination of almost a year-long process that includes their faculty peers, chairs and directors, deans, and the provosts. What do we review? We review a lot. Our faculty members synthesize their careers to date in portfolios that provide evidence of success and impact in professional competence, which is related to teaching, professional recognition, which is related to research and creative activities, and professional service, which is service to their department or school, college, university, community, and profession. So every year I show an example of a binder. So they all get synthesized into a binder, and this is just one of two. This is probably the last year I have to show one of these because we don't get a lot of these anymore. We used to get more of these, but this is much less impressive to show. If you're under the age of 25, this is a USB thumb drive. It's like it goes into a computer. Now it's just the cloud and OneDrive and all, so this is probably the last year of doing this little skit this way. So, but it's impressive. So, today I'm going to read the names of each faculty member receiving tenure and/or promotion. Please hold your applause until the end, or we might not make it to graduation on Saturday. And faculty colleagues, if you're here and you're able, please stand when you are recognized. And I will start through the names, and Jacob, if I miss a slide, is going to help me fast forward these because we got a lot going on here. And so, here we go. Mauro and Andre, granted tenure and promoted to associate professor. W. Jason Beasley, granted tenure and promoted to associate professor. Benjamin Brady, granted tenure and promoted to associate professor. Kelly Carr, granted tenure and promoted to associate professor. Matthew Fries, granted tenure and promoted to associate professor. Anderson Hagler, granted tenure and promoted to associate professor. Michael Harner, granted tenure and promoted to associate professor. Melinda Hollahan, granted tenure. Brian Jansen, granted tenure and promoted to Faculty Specialist 2 Lecturer. Evan Kutzler, granted tenure. Gary Marquardt, granted tenure. Zui Ingo, granted tenure and promoted to Associate Professor. Amanda Remo, granted tenure. Eric Souther, granted tenure and promoted to Associate Professor. Catherine Tierney, granted tenure and promoted to Associate Professor. Devin Bloom, promoted to Professor. Lisa Coons, promoted to Professor. Jennifer Foster, promoted to Professor. Andrew Henlick, promoted to Professor. Ryan Lewis, no. Greg Jaspers. Hold on, I've gotten out of order here. So I'm going to regroup to see Andrew. And now I'm good. Nancy Hawk, promoted to Professor. Gregory Jaspers, promoted to Professor. Sandun Karupu, promoted to Professor. Sangwoo Lee, promoted to Professor. Ryan Lewis, promoted to professor. Glinda Rawls, promoted to professor. Daniela Schroeder, promoted to professor. James Springstead, promoted to professor. Robert Tuttle, promoted to professor. Abby Wang, promoted to professor. Marcel Zondog, promoted to professor. Russell Zwanka, promoted to professor. Beth Ernst, promoted to Master Faculty Specialist, Lecturer. Trey Harris III, promoted to Master Faculty Specialist, Professional Specialist. Catherine Wrigley, promoted to Master Faculty Specialist, Clinical Specialist. Sunday Spear, promoted to Master Faculty Specialist, Lecturer. Lee Zhang, promoted to Master Faculty Specialist, Lecturer. Dustin Alshul, promoted to Faculty Specialist 2, Professional Specialist. Michael Kawaji, promoted to Faculty Specialist 2, Professional Specialist. Marie Marino, promoted to Faculty Specialist 2, Lecturer. Deidre Nieves, promoted to Faculty Specialist 2, Lecturer. Mingchen Zhao, promoted to Faculty Specialist 2, Lecturer. Amy Zufelt, promoted to Faculty Specialist 2, Lecturer. And please join me in a round of applause.
We do not have any regarding action items.
Trustees, we have this agenda item before us for consideration. I will entertain a motion to approve those listed for academic tenure and promotion.
I enthusiastically move that.
Support.
It has been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Secretary Thinis, please take a roll call.
Chair Turfy,
Yes.
Vice Chair Burris,
Yes.
Trustee Edgerton,
Yes.
Trustee Hoadley,
Yes.
Trustee Liggins,
Yes.
Trustee Williams.
Yes.
Chair, motion passes.
Thank you. Dr. Cheatham will lead us through the next agenda item, Fall 2026 Differential Tuition Rates.
Thank you, Chair Turfy. Differential tuition is an additional tuition assessment to students enrolled in programs in the Hayworth College of Business, the College of Engineering and Applied Sciences, and the College of Fine Arts. The use of differential tuition is associated with programs that have a higher program cost, market differences in tuition rates, and unique educational needs. Differential tuition for Hayworth College of Business and the College of Fine Arts was approved by the Board of Trustees in February 2011 and implemented in fall 2011. The Board of Trustees approved differential tuition for the College of Engineering and Applied Sciences in spring 2013. The current differential rates will remain in effect for fiscal year 2027 for all three colleges. We are requesting a differential tuition, a change in the differential tuition structure for HCOB and CEAS. For HCOB, we are requesting that a differential tuition rate of $297 per semester for students taking 12 to 15 credit hours, which is our flat rate, or $24.75 per credit hour for students taking less than 12 or more than 15, be applied to freshmen and sophomores. It is currently only applied to juniors and seniors. We are also requesting approval to apply differential tuition to HCOB graduate students at a rate of $73.29 per credit hour. For the College of Engineering and Applied Sciences, we are requesting approval to apply differential tuition to graduate students at a rate of $70 per credit hour. So it is recommended, effective with the fall 2026 semester, that the Board of Trustees approve the differential tuition rates and structure as listed above and summarized in the table in your agenda item.
Thank you, Dr. Cheatham. I will now entertain a motion to approve the fall 2026 differential tuition rates.
So moved.
Support.
It has been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Secretary Thinis, please call the roll.
Chair Turfy,
Yes.
Vice Chair Burris,
Yes.
Trustee Edgerton,
Yes.
Trustee Holdley,
Yes.
Trustee Liggins,
Yes.
Trustee Williams.
Yes.
Chair Turfy, the motion passes.
Thank you, Secretary Thinis. At this time, I would like to ask Vice President Vanderklay to present information about the fall 2026 tuition and required fee rates.
Thank you. So our focus is always on our students and their success. We want to provide them with a high-quality educational experience, as well as giving them opportunities for real-life experience. We also know our students and their families all have many items they have to consider for financial responsibilities. So setting tuition and fees is probably one of the more important charges that come before our Board of Trustees as they consider our students' needs and their families' needs. Tuition and fees is also the major revenue source for the university and the general fund. About 68% of our total budgeted revenue derives from this tuition. And if you look at all university revenue, it's about 55%. So it is a very critical component for us to consider. We're recommending a 4% increase in tuition and fees. This is consistent with the state of Michigan's language regarding tuition restraint. Right now, Western Michigan University ranks 8th in the level of fees we assess versus all the other 15 public universities. With this increase, a newly admitted full-time Michigan resident freshman will pay $16,592 in tuition and required fees to attend WMU for the 26-27 academic year. To kind of bring this down to what the actual increase would be, it would be $638 for the academic year. A comparable rate increase is also proposed for resident graduate students and students enrolled in fully online programs. For non-resident students, we're proposing a 6% increase. The proposed tuition required fees increase is also matched with a similar increase in financial aid, and we have done this consecutively and consistently for many years now to help defray the cost of the tuition increase. We do this to balance access to college with the resources needed to provide a high-quality education for our students. We are always very careful to align with this tuition restraint language because to not do so will result in financial penalties levied against the university, which would make it even more expensive for our students and families. So with that, it's being recommended, and you have attached the specific fees and tuition, each category. I was not going to read those. But it's recommended that effective with the fall 2026 semester, the Board of Trustees approves the schedule of tuition and required fee rates as provided. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Vice President Vanderklay. I will now entertain a motion to approve the fall 2026 tuition and required fee rates as presented.
So moved.
Support.
It has been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Secretary Thinis, please call the roll.
Chair Turfy,
Yes.
Vice Chair Burris,
Yes.
Trustee Edgerton,
Yes.
Trustee Holdley,
Yes.
Trustee Liggins,
Yes.
Trustee Williams.
Yes.
Chair, the motion passes.
Thank you, Secretary Thinis. Vice President Vanderklay will now present the 2026-2027 General Fund operating budget. The microphone is yours.
Thank you. So the general fund is the major operating account for the university. It's how we fund our instruction, our pragmatic programs, and it actually is how we meet our operational needs of the university. And therefore, it's critical in the type of programs we provide our students that prepares them to be successful when they leave Western Michigan University. And again, high-quality experiential learning experience is our core. So with that, our 26-27 general fund, we have a long-standing commitment to have a balanced operating budget, which simply means our revenues match our expenses. Right now, what we are proposing is a budget of $432.2 million, which would be an increase of 1.6% from the prior fiscal year. In total, both revenues and expenditures have increased by approximately $7 million compared to last year. So there's various assumptions that we use as we build a budget. We are projecting a zero change in base operating state appropriations. So far, the news out of Lansing is no base dollars. We're hopeful that one-time dollars may still be provided. This would be, if no base dollars are provided, it would be the second consecutive year where the state did not provide foundational dollars for the operation of public universities. We were able to increase our revenues by approximately 2% because last year Michigan was one of 7 public universities to participate in a retirement program called MEPSERS, and additional funding was provided last year. We did not recognize it last year, so it did help us this year as we brought it in. We already, with the prior action item, addressed tuition, so we were able to increase the budget based on the 4% increase to tuition and fees. As we look at our budget, the overriding expense is people, so it's compensation and benefits. So as we looked at that, we have a range based on employee groups. The range, if it's negotiated, kind of looking at somewhere between 2% and 4% for that. Slight increase for power plant operations, and we have quite the strong representation today here from that group. And then a very modest increase to insurances, $300,000. Property general liability insurances have significantly increased, and even I can't remember the last time we adjusted the insurance budget, so it's been a while with that. So with that being recommended today, the Board of Trustees approve the proposed fiscal year 26-27 general fund budget. It will be balanced. We have identified at this point in time, because state appropriations have not been awarded, that there appears to be where we will be reallocating other resources to alleviate a $4.7 million shortfall between what we have in hand known versus our budget. Those other sources have been identified. We do budget now. Well, we do the proposal for budget now, but we actually book the budget in September. So at the time we book the budget, it will be a balanced budget. Revenue will equal expenditures. So with that, asking the Board of Trustees to approve the proposed fiscal year 26-27 general fund budget, which provides the financial resources necessary to support the university's instructional, programmatic, and operational priorities.
Thank you, Vice President Vanderklay. I will now entertain a motion. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see. Yes.
So, thank you for the presentation. And so just to clarify, the budget we're approving today has expenses exceeding revenue by approximately $4.7 million. And then over the next 90 days or so, we'll have better clarity on how to make those get into alignment for a balanced budget in that sense.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chair, question?
Yes.
Jan? So Jan, with that, in the next 60, 90 days, especially after we see what the legislature does, you come back, we'll probably have a meeting in September. Would we need then to amend this budget as it's been adopted, or do you just provide us the book closing?
Now, again, with the presumption that the forecasting is accurate, which been doing this a while. I'm actually kind of sad. This will be my last general fund budget I will be bringing to the board. I'm just sitting here thinking about that. And I know you all won't get sentimental, but being a finance person, I am. So, sorry, I digress. But no, it will not be necessary because I would say we have like a 98% certainty on our assumptions being valid, and we have the resources identified. So very low expectation that things will not play out as we're currently forecasting.
Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Edgerton. Yes.
Mr. Chair, I'll move to adopt the budget.
Support.
It has been moved and supported. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, Secretary Thinis, please call the roll.
Chair Turfy,
Yes.
Vice Chair Burris,
Yes.
Trustee Edgerton,
Yes.
Trustee Holdley,
Yes.
Trustee Liggins,
Yes.
Trustee Williams.
Yes.
Chair, the motion passes.
Thank you. I am going to call an audible because Trustee Liggins has a 1:30 hearing he has to be at, and I'm going to move to item number 17 on the agenda, which is consideration of the President's annual review, compensation, and contract. It is hard to believe that next week, Russ Cavaluna will mark his one-year anniversary as our 10th president at Western Michigan University. His inaugural year has been strong and inspiring. From his first days on campus, he has been intentional about building meaningful relationships across the entire WMU ecosystem with students, faculty, staff, administrators, alumni, and community partners alike. He has listened deeply and led with humility. When we were searching for our next president, we wanted a leader who could take us to the next level where we are among the leading research institutions in the world. Russ stood out among a very competitive pool of candidates. He has exceeded our expectations. There's no better indication of his leadership style than his request to decline a raise for this year. He is entitled to a salary increase following his strong performance appraisal, but reached out to me personally to share his belief that with Western Michigan University at a pivotal moment, an inflection point, if you will, he has chosen to forego a salary increase. Still, he has delivered exceptional outcomes across the priorities, and as a result, we would like to demonstrate our support as a board, as a community, by considering an 8-year extension to his contract today. That is a win for our entire Western Michigan University community. With only 10 presidents in our 123-year history, our tradition of enduring leadership has made Western special. Russ's long-term commitment will provide a stable foundation that directly benefits our students, faculty, and staff as we navigate a disrupted higher education landscape. Please join me in recognizing his leadership, stewardship, and commitment to Western Michigan University. The Western Michigan University Board of Trustees are vested with authority to govern the university by the Constitution of the State of Michigan. This fiduciary oversight includes the important task of assessing the president's performance. The board's Presidential Compensation and Assessment Committee has conducted its first annual review of President Cavaluna's performance. This board finds that President Cavaluna is off to a strong and inspiring start as Western Michigan University's 10th president and has delivered strong performance across the priorities established for him by the Board of Trustees. The board would look further like to demonstrate support for President Cavaluna by approving an 8-year extension to his contract through the year 2034, maintaining the same salary provision as his current contract amending the vesting provision of his supplemental executive retirement plan, amending the buyout provision termination fee in the event of resignation, amending the definition of for cause or for cause termination, amending the definition of severance period, and amending the termination date of his faculty position to align with the extension of the contract. The recommended action. The Presidential Compensation and Assessment Committee advocates to the Board of Trustees that President Cavalluna be recognized as and valued for his leadership accomplishments during his initial year as our WMU 10th president. It is also recommended that the president receive an 8-year contract extension with the amended provisions as set forth herein, which will be formalized in a formal amendment to his contract. At this time, I will entertain a motion to approve the president's annual review, compensation, and contract.
I'll move to approve.
I would support.
It has been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Secretary Thinis, please call the roll.
Chair Turfy,
Yes.
Vice Chair Burris,
Yes.
Trustee Edgerton,
Yes.
Trustee Hoadley,
I abstain.
Trustee Liggins,
Yes.
Trustee Williams.
Yes.
Chair, the motion passes.
Thank you, Secretary Thinis, and thank you, Russ, for your long-term commitment to Bronco Nation. Next, I will turn it over to Interim President Cheatham, who will,
Vice President.
I'm sorry, Interim Provost Cheatham, who will present the teaching assistants union labor agreement. Well, we're very fond of of you, as you know. You're doing a great job.
This has been a great meeting. Thank you, Chair Turfy. Western Michigan University and the WMU Teaching Assistants Union reached a tentative agreement on a 3-year contract that will be effective from August 21st, 2026 through August 22nd, 2029. This tentative agreement was ratified by the TAU membership on May 3rd, 2026. TAU bargaining unit members perform instructional duties as graduate students across all of our academic colleges. While numbers change each semester, there are roughly 450 individuals in the unit most semesters. Similar to present, I want to also thank both negotiating teams for a successful negotiation, a collaborative process. They used a collaborative approach throughout the spring 2026 semester and searched for low or no-cost ways to improve the working conditions for TAU members, including improved wording on longevity, slightly longer timeframes for the grievance and disciplinary process, and incorporating the Michigan Earned Sick Time Act language. Wage increases include improvements in the lump sum payments each year over the 3 years and an increase in the academic success payment. It is recommended that the Board of Trustees approve the 3-year contract with the Teaching Assistants Union and the attached wage rates that are in your proposal.
Teaching Assistants Union Labor Agreement.
I move to approve the Teaching Assistants Union labor agreement.
Support.
It has been moved and supported. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, Secretary Thinis, please call the roll.
Chair Turfy,
Yes. Yes.
Vice Chair Burris,
Yes.
Trustee Edgerton,
Yes.
Trustee Hoadley,
Yes.
Trustee Williams.
Yes.
Chair, motion passes.
Thank you. Up next, Vice President Vanderklay will present the Michigan State Employees Association Labor Agreement.
So thank you. So there are 17 individuals who are members of the union, and most of the time you don't see them. And many of you may not even know where the Robert M. Beam power plant is, and that's exactly a good thing. You shouldn't need to know that. But this is a rare occasion where we have many of the members of the union, plus their rep, who drove in again for us, Ramon. Would you all please stand? They keep us going day in, day out. Thank you. And there's two of those folks here who actually were on the bargaining. We have Ramon. Do you want to stand? Three, because he's the rep. Steve Durian and Kevin Bridges, too. So thank them as well. So you may not know, but they actually go through a really extensive training program. It goes over 8 years. And it is licensed by the U.S. Department of Labor. So we have a very talented, professionally trained group that keeps our lights on 365 days, 24 hours a day. The union expires June 30th, coming up pretty darn short. And on May 13th, WMU and MSCA reached a tentative agreement. It's a 3-year labor contract, and the membership ratified it on June 2nd. So this contract would go through July 1, 2026 through June 30th, 2029. As we were talking through the current contract and staffing needs of the university, both the union and management recognized the current structure didn't meet our needs. So collaboratively we worked. We introduced new tiers, new incentives throughout the process. We used market data that both teams provided. So lots of individual changes, I would say, as you aggregate it, was about a 2.5% increase for year 1 of the contract, then 2.5% in the second year, and then 2.25 for the third and final year of the contract. Some other changes were made as well, just like Chris addressed with the TAO agreement. We looked at shoe allowances. We aligned the annual leave program with that for other staff at the university. And we also aligned the healthcare premiums with those that apply to both the AAUP and non-bargaining staff. So again, I want to thank them for their creativity as we talked about it, the openness, and the very professional interaction that we had together at the table. It's recommended that the Board of Trustees authorizes administration to implement the 2026-2029 agreement between Western Michigan University and the Michigan State Employees Association. And I do thank the team over there. You guys are great.
Michigan State Employees Association Labor.
So moved.
Mary Thinnis, please call the roll.
Chair Turfy?
Yes.
Vice Chair Burris?
Yes.
Trustee Edgerton?
Yes.
Trustee Hoadley?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Chair, the motion passes.
Thank you. The next item on today's agenda is consideration of a memorandum of understanding between the Western Michigan Board of Trustees and the Western Michigan University Foundation Board. General Counsel Keith Hahn will present the action item. Keith, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Chair Turfy. The mission of the Western Michigan University Foundation is to promote and support our university so that it can effectively carry out its mission of teaching, research, and service. The foundation accomplishes its mission by maintaining and enlarging an endowment fund, the income from which provides supplemental financial assistance for current demands. Although the foundation has its own articles of incorporation and bylaws, and the foundation and university have worked cooperatively over many decades, it is considered best practice to have in place a memorandum of understanding further outlining how the foundation can most effectively advance the mission of the university, develop a shared vision for future partnership, and clarify mutual expectations of both parties. The effort to create the memorandum of understanding that is before the board for consideration began over a year ago with involvement from members of this board and members of the Foundation Board of Directors, with assistance from Business and Finance Vice President Jan Vanderklay, Director of Advancement and Foundation Finance Josh Renos, and a few lawyers. The memorandum of understanding sets forth protocols on communication, shared leadership, services provided to the foundation by the university, reporting requirements, distributions from the endowment, fundraising, the annual fee provided by the foundation to the university, as well as standard contract provisions. It is recommended that the Board of Trustees approve the memorandum of understanding between the Western Michigan University Foundation and this board, and that the administration be authorized to execute the memorandum on its behalf.
Thank you, Keith. I will entertain a motion to approve the Western Michigan University Board of Trustees and the Western Michigan University Foundation's board's memorandum of understanding.
So moved.
Support.
It has been moved and supported. Is there any further discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I want to really commend Keith for keeping this on the front burner and trudging through many drafts of everything. We really appreciate his work on that on behalf of the board.
Thank you. Thank you, Trustee Edgerton. Hearing, any further comments? Okay. Secretary Thinis, please call the roll.
Chair Turfy?
Yes.
Vice Chair Burris?
Yes.
Trustee Edgerton?
Yes.
Trustee Hoadley?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Chair Turfy, the motion passes.
Thank you. Next, we will consider the consent agenda items as outlined earlier in the meeting. I will entertain a motion to consider this agenda item.
So moved.
Support.
It has been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Secretary Thinis, please call the roll.
Chair Turfy?
Yes.
Vice Chair Burris?
Yes.
Trustee Edgerton?
Yes.
Trustee Hoadley?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Chair Turfy, the motion passes.
Thank you. We will now move to the final item on today's agenda, public comments. Secretary Thinis, do we have any general public comments?
Chair Turfy, we have one. Brian Sutton, President of AFSCME, would like to address the board.
Brian, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak in a much smaller crowd than Russ has had me speaking in front of recently. I just wanted to take an opportunity to say thank you. On June 3rd, the leadership of Michigan AFSCME came to campus to do an appreciation event for our members. Immediately, AVPs Strasdus and Olson and all of the AFSCME's directors, supervisors, managers that report to them were very supportive of allowing our members to have a little bit of an extended lunchtime in order to be able to enjoy that. It gave the leadership of our union an opportunity to come see our beautiful campus, to interact with our members, and an opportunity they don't normally have. President Cavalluna found time in his very hectic schedule to come and speak. It was refreshing, again, I get to hear it a lot, but for a lot of our members who don't necessarily get to hear him speak often, the sincere and genuine appreciation that he shared for the work that we do on this campus, for him to meet the people who run our union, who are so proud of what we have built here together as a fantastic working relationship that has actually become the model that Michigan AFSCME is using across the state of how labor relations should be, what they can be, and what can be accomplished when we do that. Russ, I do want to tell you, I think you'll find this to be a compliment. One of my members said, listening to you speak was like listening to President Floyd. So I think that is a pretty high compliment to be compared to his speaking ability. But again, thank you to everybody who allowed our folks to participate, and for you to come and speak, and that's all I have.
Brian, thank you. That was inspirational to me, and I sincerely, and I'm sure to my fellow colleagues, thank you very much. I will now entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
It has been moved and supported. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those
Aye.
opposed say no. The motion carries. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you.